What's going on, my Central Unit Galaxy? It's the Central Man here. So this is my review of WCW's Monday Nitro for the 19th of February 1996. This show was in Sainsbury, Maryland. It kicked off with the opening match. We got Hulk Hogan taking on the enforcer of the Four Horsemen, Double A, Arn Anderson, with Woman in his corner. This is a rematch from the previous week's episode of Nitro in the main event when Arn Anderson defeat Hulk Hogan after some shenanigans, helped by Ric Flair, Woman, Miss Elizabeth. Anyway, the match between Hogan and Arn Anderson, the rematch, match sucked. It was basically punch, punch, punch. It's a bit generic, a bit standard. It was a dull match. The fans were booing Hogan. I think that at this moment of the time, you can tell the fans are getting sick of Hogan. He's getting that John Cena, Roman Reigns heat. Woman screaming. This is like a decade before Melina will do the screaming gimmick to get over. Anyway, in the end, Hogan was a heel, acting like a heel in this match because he was a babyface. Double A is a heel. It's not like a double term, but you can tell like. Hogan was kind of like acting heelish. He had mostly the offense than Arn Anderson. In the end, Hogan locked Arn Anderson with the figure four leg lock. And then all of a sudden you got the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, trying to get in the ring, trying to attack Hogan. But he got stopped by Randy Savage, who's wearing black and white. It's funny that a year later, Savage will wear black and white when he was part of the NWO. Anyway, the bell was wrong. You thought Hogan won this match. Unfortunately, the match ended in a disqualification. Arn Anderson won the second match via disqualification. So, Hogan is 0-2 of the enforcer, Arn Anderson. He lost the previous week's episode of Nitro in the main event, and now in this match in the opener, he lost by disqualification. And how is it a disqualification that, first off, Savage did not touch Arn Anderson or Hulk Hogan, same as the Taskmaster? Why they did that, I don't get into it. Anyway, the show never got better afterwards. So the next match we got the Dust Thunder Kid, Alex Wright, taking on Loch Ness. Loch Ness is giant haystacks for your old school British wrestling fans, with Jimmy Hart in his corner. It's pretty funny that they give him the name Loch Ness. I understand, maybe they don't, it's not believable to have, giant haystacks wrestling in another wrestling company as Giant Haystacks. He was famous in Britain as that name, Giant Haystacks. I don't know. Loch Ness. First off, he's not Scottish. Giant Haystacks. He's born in London, but he kind of grew up in Manchester. He's got more of a northern accent. I saw like an old interview. Yeah, he was speaking in a northern accent more than a southern accent. And sadly he died 2 years later at the age of 52. He did. It really showed his first Nitro appearance was the previous week's episode of Nitro when he defeated one half of the American Males, Scotty Riggs. This dude is so mobile. He's just there for his size. He's not that good, and also he died at the age of 52. So he'll be 50 later on in the year. So he's about 49. So he's kind of like in his late 40s. In his time in WCW. He did not sell Alex Wright's drop kicks. I think Wright was going for like a sleeper hold, but instead he managed to pull off Alex Wright, hit the elbow to win this match. Yeah, it's just basically a squash match. He was just past his peak. I don't know much about his peak. That's before my time because he wrestled in like the 70s and 80s. I mean, by the time in the 90s, he was kind of like past his best, and then sadly 2 years later he died. He died with lymphoma. Anyway, so moving on to the next match. The next match we've got the Belfast Bruiser. That is Fit Finlay. He'll become Fit Finlay. That would be like 97, 98. Taking on Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong is I think he was the older or the youngest brother of Road Dogg Jesse James. Anyway, the match was just a standard match. It was dull at the same time. He kind of worked on the lower back and the leg of Brad Armstrong. In the end, Fit Finlay got the victory. I call him Fit Finlay. Yeah, the Belfast Bruiser. It's just what it is, because I think he is a bruiser, or whatever you call him Belfast Brawler. He's a bit of that bruiser. He's more like he's pissed than he's fighting. A brewer means like you drink. Anyway, so in the end, Finlay got the victory. Hit like some random slam. Don't know why it's. I don't remember what it's called. You can call it a virtual suplex, but it's just a passing slam onto Brad Armstrong to score the victory. And then he shouts for Regal, it's like, I'm coming for you, Regal, because I think like on an episode of Saturday Night Main Event, he attacked Steven Regal, the future William Regal. They had a match at that year's Uncensored. It's really funny that both Finlay and Regal are in WWE. I think Regal is now working, he's part of the NXT brand, kayfabe, on-screen commissioner, trainer backstage, same as Finlay. I think he's not like a suit and tie, and then he'd be, I think he's also a trainer as well. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, 3 matches. It's like, this is a mediocre show. I don't want to get into it. Main event time, we got Ric Flair defending the WCW World Heavyweight Championship against the Macho Man Randy Savage. You got, with Ric Flair, you got both Woman and Elizabeth in their corner. They really been this rivalry to death between Savage and Flair, because it started out in Uncensored 1995 when Flair came back, got involved in Savage's match with, I think it was against the Shark, John Tenta. Then he attacked Randy Savage's dad, Angelo Poffo, at Slamboree. They had the best match of the rivalry at Great American Bash of the previous year in 1995. They fought at Bash of the Beach. They fought at Starrcade 95, the end of the year, a few Nitros. The Nitro, when Savage won the title at Caesar's Palace, and then and also at Super Brawl 6, and now on this show. Yeah, they kind of beating this rivalry to death. Yeah, overbooked as fuck with Woman and Elizabeth got involved. I think he trying to throw Flair like a random object, but instead Savage grabbed the object, hit Flair with it, and referee count for a 2 count, and basically Savage was holding his face. I'm guessing like Woman scratch Savage in the face. And then you got like the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan came around. Hogan stopped him. In the end, Arn Anderson just hit Savage with the DDT. Flair pinned Savage for the victory. Won this match, retained the WCW World title, and then we got the Booty Man, folks. The Booty Man, that is Ed Leslie, the formerly known as Bruce the Barber Beefcake. He used to be called the Zodiac. He was part of the Dungeon of Doom, and now he's the Booty Man. In storyline, he's basically turned his back on the DOD, the Dungeon of Doom. He became a double agent, basically also working with Hulk Hogan. Jesus fucking Christ. He became the Disciple when he was part of the NWO. Jesus, he had a lot of crappy gimmicks. Ed Leslie. The Barber, the Butcher, the Booty Man, the Zodiac. Jesus Christ. And then you got like, I think Flair. I think like Flair had some going for a few words. It was so awkward as fuck, and then you got Boo Man chase off, like Arn Anderson and Woman, Elizabeth, Flair. They made Flair and Anderson look like fucking chumps. I don't know what happened to Benoit. He's not even showed up. Maybe he's got injured. It's just like so stupid. And then Hogan came, he shouted, and he says he's going to challenge, Flair, Anderson, and the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan to a 6-man tag team match next week. And also, you got Mean Gene trying to interview Hogan and Savage. The mic was not plugged in. It was kind of like it was not on. You could tell it's so awkward. Savage hold on the WCW bell, and Bischoff basically tell him that's not your championship. And Savage says, I'm going to knock you out. What are you talking about? Yeah, Heenan left because everyone knows Heenan hate Hogan because he Heenan feuded with Hogan way back in those 1980s WWFs. With managing like King Kong Bundy and Andre the Giant. Yeah, 6-man tag team match. So yeah, Hogan, Savage, Booty Man taking on Flair, Anderson, Taskmaster. So that close out this episode of Monday Nitro. Nothing to talk about. Yeah, it's an hour long episode. Yeah, it's 46 on the network. It'll go to 2 hours later on in the year, then 3 hours. Probably that'll be like 97, 98. So yeah, not a good show. Very filler. Just like a lot of shenanigans. It get better. In months to come, Monday Nitro, when the whole NWO, the Reigns popped, and also with the Cruiserweights. I give it 3 out of 10. Nothing in the good. Just mostly with like outside interference, overbought crap. And yeah, so hope you enjoy my review of WCW's Monday Nitro for the 19th of February 1996. Leave your thoughts, comments below, smash the like button, and subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. And this is Central Man officially signing out. Check you later.